I think it'll be a points win.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a points. I think Canelo will win it, but not by the biggest of margins. But then if Crawford come and turn the event on his head and won on points, I wouldn't be surprised.
When a mega fight is on the horizon, everyone jumps in to share predictions about who will come out on top. The upcoming clash between Canelo and Crawford is no different. From top analysts to fellow boxers, the buzz is everywhere. Every elite boxing mind seems to have their own forecast for how this showdown will unfold, adding to the excitement.
You know what, I've been changing my mind, chopping and changing. Two tremendous fighters in their own right. I won't call it an upset, but I'm going for a Crawford victory.
We will also discuss what others are saying about this fight later in this video. First of all, John Ryder, the seasoned British boxer who has faced Canelo in the ring, praised Terence Crawford as a special talent in his recent interview, saying he has the skill and intelligence to outsmart Canelo. He admitted he enjoys watching fighters like him because they always give their full effort in the ring, and their strong mindset plays a huge role in their success. However, Ryder also expressed doubt, noting that Crawford might struggle against this opponent, who is a dominant force at 168 pounds. In light of his weight class path, Ryder went on to say that the build-up to this bout will be particularly crucial.
Still developing and growing into that weight. You could have done with a couple more there, then moved up to 160, but it's all being done as a bit of a rush, so he's not going to be fully, he's got enough time to put the muscle on to build into the weight, and he's obviously going to do it with the intention of getting back down to 154 and taking on other challenges. So it's not a long-term goal for him to stay there. But like I say, Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. I remember watching him beat a good friend of mine, Ricky Burns, and it's like since that day I was just, my ears pricked up and I took notice. And every time Terence Crawford boxed, I watched.
He went on to share some advice for Crawford on what he should focus on to beat the Mexican champion. Ryder suggested that Crawford follow the blueprint of fighters who have managed to defeat Canelo, with Dimitri Bivol being a prime example. He emphasized the importance of sticking to the basics rather than experimenting with new tactics during the fight. The secret to defeating Canelo, according to Ryder, may lie in discipline, tried and true tactics, and remaining loyal to one's skills.
I think you just got to watch the Bivol blueprint, the in and out. I mean, a lot of fighters getting stick now for being runners, Tom and Jerry and whatnot. But stick to what you're good at. Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. He's won titles through the weights, undisputed at, what was it, 3 weights now. And listen, if anyone can do it, it's him. I think the weight will be too much of an issue. Canelo is a special talent. And I think the weight will play a factor in the fight, but...
Most significantly, while predicting the outcome of this mega clash, John leaned towards Canelo Alvarez. Acknowledging his advantage in weight and power, he advised him to avoid letting Crawford fully utilize his speed and land precise shots, warning that if he manages to do so on fight night, he could cause serious problems even for a bigger fighter. Overall, although Crawford poses a threat, Ryder thought Canelo's strength and experience would win out, and he ultimately projected that he would win by a margin of points.
I think you've got to see Canelo sitting tight on Crawford, not giving him the space, block him side to side, and just very much work up close. Don't give Crawford the space to move. Don't give him the leverage to throw his long shots. And listen, Crawford can be dangerous with the leverage and the movement and the switching stances. But I think Canelo's going to sit tight on him, sit on his chest. Good head movement, good slipping, good rolling, good catch counters, and break him down.
Furthermore, Willie D, the former professional boxer and member of the legendary hip-hop group Ghetto Boys, shared his prediction for the fight, saying that strengths and weaknesses will be the biggest factors in deciding the winner. He contends that on fight night, the victor will be the one who can maximize his abilities while keeping his opponent from taking advantage of his problems. He proceeded to dissect Canelo's and Crawford's strengths and weaknesses, highlighting areas where both could collapse and suffer injuries, and identifying particular circumstances that might favor them.
Canelo's strengths are his versatility, his timing, his head movement, and he's an excellent counterpuncher. His weaknesses, slow body movement, and he's a weak jabber at times. Now let's take a look at Bud. Bud's #1 strength by far is his adaptability. If you are in a fight with Terence Bud Crawford, he is going to bring the entire toolbox. and he's going to use any tool he deems necessary to get the job done.
Considering the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters, Willie D predicted a dominant victory for Terence Crawford, insisting the fight would not even be close. He believed he would win either through complete ring dominance or by unanimous decision. He also explained that his pick was based on Crawford's impressive strengths, particularly his ability to adapt to opponents during a fight. He would have a significant advantage over Canelo due to his competitive attitude, he continued, giving him the ability to dominate the fight from beginning to end.
I do believe, all things considered, Terence "Bud" Crawford will not only win the fight, but he is going to dominate the fight. If there is a decision, the decision will be unanimous. It ain't gonna even be close. Terence Crawford has that extra thing about him where his heart will not allow him to fail. The dude is one of the most competitive people I've ever seen in my life.
Moreover, Gabe Rosado also went deep into this fight and marked it as an interesting matchup to see. He mentioned that both fighters will come to win and will do everything it takes to secure victory on fight night. However, he specifically mentioned that we are going to see a different version of Canelo this time, one that we have never seen before, because Canelo is well aware of the challenge and will try to put on an amazing show accordingly.
I think it's going to be a great fight. I think Crawford, I think he's going to come to fight, but I think we're going to see a different Canelo. I mean, I think Canelo been coasting just because it's like, why take a risk? I don't have to take a risk. I'm Canelo Alvarez. I'm the face of boxing. But this one is this one's way different. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to see a different Canelo, man.
He further said that in his opinion, Crawford's jumps between weight divisions will cost him a lot as he has never faced a truly big opponent and does not know what it feels like to take a shot from a 168-pounder. He added that on fight night, he is going to have a long night absorbing Canelo's power punches, and he does not believe Crawford will be able to hurt Canelo in any way.
Crawford is fighting a guy 3 divisions bigger, and you ain't been hit with a 10-ounce glove in over a year. It's just different. It's different. So if he's able to take that shot, man, I give him mad props, but I just think it's different. That's like me. I'm 168-pounder. That's like me going to cruiserweight.
Additionally, Coach Anthony, the well-known boxing trainer and analyst recognized for his technical breakdowns and strategic insights, shared a warning for Canelo ahead of this super fight. He said Crawford is a fighter who is rapidly rising in the boxing world and prefers to let his actions speak rather than his words. He claimed that he will be motivated to work even harder than before since he is determined to win this fight and get even greater status in the boxing world. He continued on to say that Crawford might cause Canelo significant harm and even pull off an unexpected win.
Crawford's just going to run his way to victory. He is going to have to go into that pocket. He's going to have to go into that fire, and he's going to have to earn his respect if he thinks he's going to keep a guy like Canelo off. That is not going to happen. This ain't going to be Floyd Mayweather versus a drained Canelo. This is going to be a guy who's going to have to earn his respect through landing some real effective punches to let Canelo know, you thought I was the smaller guy, but I'm strong. I could fight. And that's what's going to make that fight a totally different fight than the people who don't believe Crawford has a chance. That's what's going to be the difference maker when Crawford lands some shit on Canelo.
Another important personality, Virgil Ortiz, in his recent podcast, discussed his thoughts on this mega fight. He praised Crawford, adding he is a skilled combatant. But the primary problem he brought up before this conflict was the same one that many others had brought up previously. Concerns about him going up weight classes to face Canelo were also voiced by him. Ortiz's opinion echoed the topic of whether Crawford could handle the weight gain and the challenge of facing a naturally larger and more powerful opponent like him.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just gonna treat him as a 147-pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing.
In order to determine what advantages Canelo possesses, he also investigated his side. In line with the boxing community, he also praised his stature, strength, and most importantly, ring experience. He accepted that Crawford is a full-fledged fighter as well, but he stressed that his opponent will win out in this bout due to the weight difference.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ, but I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, we've seen Crawford get hurt,
Right.
we've seen Canelo get hurt, right? But I feel like
Not lately.
yeah, not
It's been
lately,
years.
not lately. It's been a while.
Moving forward, David Benavidez Sr. made interesting comments on this fight, saying it is going to be like a Tom and Jerry fight. He explained that both fighters are not looking their best, with Canelo likely aiming to engage and land brutal shots on Crawford, while he will try to give his best using his speed and movement. Benavidez stressed that Crawford could get knocked out by Canelo if he tries too hard to give fans an amazing show, warning that taking unnecessary risks could cost him the fight.
No, I think it's going to be a Tom and Jerry fight. You know, at the end of the day, Crawford has not been looking really good. We saw how he looked in his past fight. So Canelo, like I said, the reflexes are not there. This power is not there. The knees are not the same. So Canelo's going to try to knock him out, but Crawford's going to do what he does best. He's going to move around, try to win the rounds, touch him, and move. I think if Crawford stays, Canelo can knock him out, because Canelo's the bigger guy. I don't think Crawford's going to come and give the fans what they want. He don't care. He's just going to come and win and beat them.
Furthermore, reputable boxing trainer Abel Sanchez gave Crawford some things to focus on if he hopes to defeat Canelo Alvarez in their impending big fight. He urged him to get psychologically and physically ready, underlining the value of developing strength because it would be particularly useful in the latter stages. Additionally, he insisted that he should observe Canelo's most recent bouts and evaluate his weaknesses in order to determine which aspect would allow him to beat him. Sanchez attributed Crawford's victory to power, cunning, and perceptive analysis.
I would have been preparing for this fight way before the Madrimov fight. I would have had him up fighting guys, bigger guys, and doing a lot more strength and conditioning because he's definitely going to need that.
Yeah.
Yes, he's going to be better and faster in the first 3 or 4 rounds because he is faster than Canelo. But once Canelo starts pounding on his arms and pounding on him, it's a big truck hitting you, man, and it's going to be difficult to stay away from him unless he does a skull fight. But I don't think he's got the legs, especially at 168 that he had at 147.
Besides, Coach Joel Diaz took the size difference very seriously and gave Crawford zero chance of winning. He emphasized that no matter how well prepared a fighter is, one massive power shot from a bigger man can completely change the scenario of the fight. According to Diaz, Canelo will be able to absorb Crawford's punches easily, but the real question is whether he will be able to handle shots from Canelo, given the Mexican's power and experience.
The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov is a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division.
Along with the predictions, let's also talk about how fighters are preparing for this highly anticipated fight. Canelo Alvarez is training hard, just like he always does. He understands this fight is vital, which is why he shows up to the gym every day with determination. He doesn't try to alter anything or take quick routes. He remains dedicated to discipline, hard effort, and giving it his all. Canelo ignores distractions and concentrates on his tasks. Whether it's boxing, fitness, or mental training, he approaches every workout with a specific objective in mind. He prepares even harder since he takes the task seriously and is mindful of how strong his opponent is. There are no egos at the gym, just fighters who understand that hard work and daily attendance are the keys to victory.
So, 6, 7, vamos, 8, 9, 10. Esa arriba, vamos. 1, 2. Si bien la recibe este 5, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Moreover, he has a history of major altercations, as we know, and his composed attitude reflects that. He simply performs his duties without discussing his training. Canelo prepares to perform at his peak when it counts. Additionally, his goals are simple and unambiguous: to be powerful, observant, and ready. Every drop of perspiration and every hour spent in the gym is part of his plan to be prepared and confident when he enters the ring. Canelo asserts that being a fighter means working hard, being focused, and never giving up, no matter how serious the circumstance. On the other hand, Terence Crawford is likewise totally focused. He is aware of the challenge that lies ahead, so he is not taking anything lightly. He puts in a lot of effort each day, stays consistent, and makes sure he is ready for everything. Crawford is known for being focused and disciplined, and this fight is no different. He's also exercising, pushing himself, and doing everything he can to perform at his peak. Crawford is aware that even the tiniest nuances could determine the outcome of this bout against a formidable opponent like Canelo. He's locked in and giving it his all because of this. He isn't taking shortcuts or ignoring anything. Furthermore, he is also maintaining his calm, keeping his head down, and letting his effort speak for itself. Crawford's confidence stems from his knowledge that he is properly preparing, not from hype or derogatory remarks. He remains fit, hungry, and resolved to prove himself to the world as fight night draws near.
What will you have to do to be your best version in order to get this victory?
I think just be myself and just don't get careless in the ring and, stay sharp. all 12 rounds if it goes 12 rounds. I think that's the only thing that, you know, I need to do, and make sure that in training that I sharpen up all my tools.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a solid approach.
Overall, for him, this is an opportunity to prove himself once more and advance in his career. Additionally, he is ensuring that he is prepared for that moment.
I can't imagine thinking about getting beat. That's not something that I think about.
Well, you've never had it as a professional fighter.
Yeah, but I never like to think about losing. It comes to each and every one of our minds as a fighter. You know, what if? But that's why we train so hard, so that if can deteriorate, you know, in camp. But, you know, a win against Canelo Alvarez, what it would do to my career would put me, you know, on Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
You know, I think I would be one of the greatest fighters ever.
No question.
Yeah.
In short, considering all the previously mentioned predictions and the fighters' training, the boxing community is buzzing with excitement. Fans find themselves in a dilemma whenever a new prediction is made. While the pros are giving bold and sometimes brutal forecasts about the outcome of this fight, the supporters remain firmly loyal to their chosen fighter. Each side has its own reasons for believing their favorite will be unstoppable on fight night, holding on to the hope that their champion will prove everyone else wrong in the ring. Share your opinions and predictions in the comment section below, and let's get the conversation going. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as your support truly means a lot to us. Stay tuned for more updates, insights, and breakdowns as we get closer to the big night on September 13th.